When we talk about poltergeist phenomena, a few cases stand out as truly iconic. And at the top of that list, without a doubt, is the Enfield Poltergeist. This wasn't a fleeting whisper in the dark or a chilly breeze in some old house. This was an 18-month reign of terror in a seemingly ordinary suburban home in London. A case so well documented, it challenged skeptics and horrified believers alike. Today, we're diving into the factual events of the Enfield Poltergeist, exploring the shocking claims, the meticulous investigations, and the compelling evidence that makes this one of the most famous and frightening hauntings in modern history. Only today on The Daily Strange. Hello everyone and welcome to The Daily Strange, a special October 2025 video per day blitz of the paranormal, specifically cryptids, monsters, and the supernatural. I'm your host, John F. Mers, author, actor, adventurer. Our story begins in August 1977 in a modest council house at 284 Green Street, Enfield, North London. This was home to Peggy Hodgson, a single mother, and her 4 children, Margaret, aged 13, Janet, aged 11, Johnny, 10 years old, and Billy, 7. By all accounts, it was an average working-class family living an ordinary life. Until, that is, the knocking began. According to initial reports from the Hodgson family and later documented by the Society for Psychical Research, SPR, the phenomena started subtly. Furniture would move on its own, small objects would slide across tables, and persistent knocking sounds emanated from the walls and floors. Peggy Hodgson was initially suspecting that her children were playing pranks, but the intensity and frequency of the events quickly disproved this. The poltergeist's activity rapidly escalated. Beds levitated, toys flew across rooms, and objects were hurled with force. Fireplaces were reportedly nearly ripped from walls, and drawers opened and closed on their own. The family quickly became terrified. When Peggy Hodgson called the police, 2 officers, W.J. Hitchings and Carolyn Heaps, responded. According to their official report, they witnessed a chair slide across the floor on its own. Officer Heaps even signed an affidavit confirming she saw the chair move. This initial police report lends significant credibility to the claims, as law enforcement officers are trained observers and generally viewed as credible witnesses. The case soon attracted the attention of local and national newspapers, and more importantly, 2 prominent paranormal investigators, Maurice Grosse and Lyon Playfair, both from the Society for Psychical Research. Grosse and Playfair spent countless hours at the house over the next 18 months, meticulously documenting the occurrences. They recorded audio, took photographs, and interviewed the family and witnesses. Their findings were astonishing. They documented over 1,500 incidents, including furniture being thrown, objects appearing out of thin air, cold spots, fires spontaneously igniting and extinguishing, and most disturbingly, the levitation of Janet Hodgson, the second eldest daughter. Photographs allegedly show Janet floating above her bed. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Enfield poltergeist was the vocal phenomena, a gravelly, guttural voice claiming to be the spirit of Bill Wilkins, a former resident who allegedly died in the house, and he began to communicate through Janet. This voice, often heard when Janet appeared to be in a trance, was recorded on tape. The voice claimed it had died in the armchair in the living room and spoke in a deep, aggressive tone. Skeptics later argued that Janet was faking the voice, but analysis by voice experts showed inconsistencies that made a simple hoax harder to prove. The case, while heavily documented, was not without controversy. There were instances where Janet and Margaret admitted to faking some minor incidents, often under pressure from the constant scrutiny. However, Grosse and Playfair maintained that the vast majority of the phenomena, especially the more aggressive and complex ones, were beyond the capabilities of two young girls. They firmly believed that a genuine poltergeist was at work. The Enfield Poltergeist remains a landmark case in paranormal research. Its extensive documentation, the sheer number of inexplicable incidents, the police corroboration, and the multiple investigators involved make it one of the most compelling hauntings ever recorded. It spawned books, documentaries, and even inspired films like The Conjuring 2 and more. Whether you believe it was an elaborate hoax or a genuine confrontation with an intelligent, malevolent entity, the story of the Hodgson family and the Enfield Poltergeist continues to terrify and intrigue, forcing us to question the boundaries of our known reality. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode of The Daily Strange. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new chilling episodes. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of The Daily Strange.